Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Hi, welcome to the KVJ ATS Podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show Podcast.
Well, hello and welcome to the KVJ show. Happy little Friday. Got a nice little weekend gonna be coming up here, huh?
Yeah, weekend bitches.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Got nothing special going on this weekend. Just gonna be living life. That's about it.
Well, if you want to get down to a kid's birthday party, come on over.
Yeah.
All you can eat pizza and hamburgers.
Nice. You know how to throw a kid rager.
Yeah, we're doing a whole smorgasbord of all of Rocco's favorite food. Mini pizzas.
Oh, that's fun.
Cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Little corn dog nuggets. French fries. And cheese quesadillas.
I mean, that's little kid heaven right there.
He is so excited.
Just throw some tater tots and then you got the whole thing.
And he's got 2 cakes that he custom designed himself. So he's literally bouncing off the walls excited.
Yeah, when you're that young, birthdays mean everything.
They really do.
They do.
I was talking to my grandma yesterday, and she was like, this is it. I mean, when you're turning 5 and everybody's celebrating you, it means everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is fun. Yeah, I noticed it's kind of like one of those things, Christmases and birthdays and things like that. You hit your peak right. I remember 11, 12, somewhere around there. It was the best.
I agree. And once you kind of get into the teen years, it really falls to shit, doesn't it?
Oh.
That's when
So
they start giving you, deodorant for you open up the gift and it's wrapped and it's deodorant. Like, shit, you're wrapping deodorant?
Yeah.
Some horse shit.
I remember by about 16, it was just like, wait, what?
Underwear, you get that.
Terrible.
That's wrapped.
Becomes practical.
Underwear is not a gift.
No, don't even wrap it.
No, you're right. So, not sure what you got going on this weekend. There's not a lot of options. I mean, you can go out to some extent a little bit. I think Hard Rock is still cranking, if anybody's so brave. And other than that, just checking out maybe a drive-in movie at Hard Rock Stadium. That's about the only things that I know that are going on. Mexican Queen's like weird, though, about the stuff. Like, she very much is like just, doesn't want to go out. She's like, I'm staying in, not going to do anything. So we're not doing anything at all. But then on the flip side of it, she is all about the kids going back to school. I think it's because, she wants
Her life back?
Well, I think she wants Cannon there. She realizes that, the at-home schooling's not as good. Her mom also, works at a school and, so she's like, she wants her mom to be able to get some income going again. And so, because we got basically, everybody, because Caitlin works at a school and her mom works at a school. Kim got laid off. And so we're looking at, she's like, we need some money. So I know you still got the unemployment stuff that is going on, but.
Yeah, is everybody still getting unemployment?
Yeah, I think that's still going on, but I don't know how that, rates to where we were and what's going on. I don't know the exact dollars and cents of it. Everything's also confusing. So, but I'm just trying to figure out what it is. So yeah, she's oddly enough, she's a stickler. She's very passionate about sending the kids back full time. And we had received an email earlier just about it. I know it's one of the hottest topics that is out there about the kids going back to school. And we started off the regular show asking about it, and I posted up a poll on Twitter. I'll see if Denny's was able to put one up anywhere else. But we just asked of the 3 options, where are you? And a lot of people are hitting the poll up. So I said, okay, so what do you think South Florida should do here? And is it back in class, virtual only, or a combination of both? Right now, the top vote is for virtual only, 42%.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Of our responses do virtual only. 36% are up for a combination of both, and it's just 22% that are saying put them back in class. So that's where we are right now in our very unscientific KVJ Nation Twitter poll. But we had received an email that had come in and said, yeah, you got to look at the pediatric positivity rates. And remember how I was saying that was the one concern where the Florida Department of Health supervisor for Palm Beach County had said, we've tested 3,000 kids under the age of 18 in this county, and 1,000 of them have come back positive. Yeah, Palm Beach County's positivity rate for kids under age of 18 is 29.1%. Wow. According to this email we got, she said Broward is 22.4%. Miami-Dade is 29.7%, and Martin County is 51.4%. And according to what she was saying, Martin County is leaning to sending the kids all the way back.
I know. I saw that email because, she's specifically talking about, Martin County schools. She's a Martin County school person, and Rocco is supposed to go to Martin County School. He's supposed to go to Hobe Sound Elementary, and I'm just not there. I am not sending him to kindergarten knowing that 51% of the kids they're testing are coming back positive.
I think kindergarten's where they really, really focus in on coloring and staying in between the lines. I think that's a big message in kindergarten, right?
It's one of many.
But that was a big one.
Rocco can already full on read on like a first grade level. So I don't know if we're going to be that far behind if we skip kindergarten. I'm saying F kindergarten.
Wow. There's a statement. You brag about your kid being awesome and then you say fuck kindergarten.
I'm not doing it. I'm not risking it. 51% of the kids they're testing in Martin County are coming back positive. That is not good.
Kindergarten was a good one, though. That was a good grade.
I'm sad for him that he'll miss out on the kindergarten experience because, it was so much fun. It was still a lot of play with a good bit of learning, but it was so sweet and awesome.
Do they still do nap time for kindergarten, or is that considered controversial for some reason?
He did not do nap time at VPK. So that was last year. They weren't doing nap time.
I remember in kindergarten, this is how different it was back then. I had my first little girlfriend. Her name was Christina, and we would have nap time, and me and her would just snuggle together and hold hands.
Aww.
But they would never allow that today, right?
Did you get to second base?
Damn, that's a very perverted question.
And yes, I did.
Wonder what happened to her. Damn, young love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that shit would never happen now.
No.
Snuggling up in nap time?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what winds up happening. We'll get some resolutions for Palm Beach County Wednesday at 2 p.m. The Palm Beach County Board of Education commissioners are going to get together, and apparently they're leaning on virtual only right now. So we'll see after that what counties decide. Susan in the Facebook chat room had said, I like the counties that are giving families the choice, like Lake and Pinellas, where you can go back virtual or Florida online. So there are some options, because that is the one thing that is good, is it seems like everything's got to be made on what is happening in that general area. You can't make a blanket decision for a large swath of territory like the entire state of Florida, because as we've seen, the three southern counties, excluding Monroe, are pretty much all the same with the numbers, but Miami-Dade is about double of Broward and Palm Beach, and they're a whole different scenario altogether. And they've got to handle all their closings and everything else based on what is happening in Miami-Dade. So whatever they decide, I think it's got to be relative to what is happening in that area. So it will be interesting to see how this all goes down.
It's so much confusion, and you don't want to do the wrong thing, and just what's the right thing?
Well, the problem is typically what we do is you listen to the numbers and you try to make a decision off of that. And what's so frustrating is just that all the numbers, and I'm really every day trying to delve deep to see, okay, let's look through the smoke and see what is the true story. And there's not really any metric that I completely believe in that seems to be infallible. And Pamela even sent an email and said, yeah, the unemployment rate stuff is all jacked up with those numbers. She said, they're talking about the unemployment claims that had just come out, but I've been doing unemployment. And what happened was when your unemployment ran out starting in July, they just kind of like rolled that over. So I was one of those people that kind of like rolled over into an extension of the unemployment, but I was counted as a new number. So it's not like I was newly employed. I've been unemployed. So, you know, you can't even, she's saying at least, and I've not heard anything else about that, but she's saying you can't even believe those numbers. And by the way, if anybody's looking for anyone with administrative work experience, event planning, training and development, and human resources with a great work ethic and enthusiasm to work, please give out my contact. I miss my job and I feel terribly useless collecting unemployment for months.
You know, MD Now that I do their commercials, they're hiring for everything. You know, that's one of the fields where it is not slowed down. They're looking for everything from front desk receptionist to people in the office to nurses to doctors to everything. So
I also heard that like the delivery food places are looking still too.
yeah, there are booming businesses during this time too.
Some are taking off. So you just got to keep your peeps open, I guess. Connie wanted to talk about the mask medical condition. She said, hey, just an FYI, a medical condition where you can't wear a mask is claustrophobia. I have it, and it sucks. Thank goodness we have medical marijuana. And, yeah, I'm sure everybody's got their own unique story and challenges during this whole pandemic. That's what's interesting about it.
Absolutely.
I don't think any two people are the same. We're just all trying to figure it out and make it happen. And
Right.
yeah, that would be tough. If it's claustrophobia and even wearing a face shield would be something that you couldn't do, that would be really tough.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a condition like that and you don't know that world, you would be like, oh, well, just wear the mask. It's this kind of the same thing when I have a panic attack in front of a large building. Majority of people say, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's just a building. Get your shit together. They'll get impatient with me, which adds on to an anxiety attack. And sometimes if you don't understand someone's, quirk, it's easy to say, oh, you're being selfish or you're being an asshole. If you truly have something like that. Now, I think there's people lying about that. I've got a medical condition, and they just don't want to wear the mask.
Some are. That's annoying because then you do it dirty for the people who have a legit condition.
Yeah.
And I think already people are just trying to make accommodations to get through this on a regular basis. But then when somebody throws a curveball at you and says, yeah, I can't wear any kind of mask because of claustrophobia, like, okay, let's figure out how we're going to take care of this situation. And it is challenging. And some people don't really care. I saw in Englewood, Colorado, the town there is threatening people with up to 1 year in jail for not wearing a mask. I mean, that's not playing around, right?
Where's that at?
Englewood, Colorado.
That's crazy.
Thought they smoke weed there. We're chill.
Throw you in jail.
They did. They do
A
smoke
year.
weed, but they're like,
Gosh.
don't ruin our chill vibe.
That's pretty insane, huh? And I saw those stories like, well, wait, why? But then this kind of makes sense. Now, this is kind of interesting. A town in Washington called Tenino has printed its own currency to help its economy during the pandemic. Anybody in town who has lost out on income recently gets $300 worth of the bills to spend at local businesses each month, and then the businesses turn them into City Hall for U.S. dollars. So they did that instead of just giving them regular U.S. cash that they could go spend anywhere or go to Amazon. They gave them money that was only good if you spent it at a local business, and then that local business goes in and replaces the cash with real money.
Huh.
And that way that kicks up their local economy.
That's smart.
Gets people out shopping. I thought so too. It's like, that actually is pretty ingenious. Seems like a big to-do, and I can't imagine doing it in a big town, but if you have a small little town, yeah, go for it. And I saw this too. I'm not surprised. It says 7 out of 10 Americans think that grocery shopping will change forever because of the pandemic, with a lot more people using grocery delivery services even after it's all over.
Well, stop yelling at people for going down the wrong aisle. Some of those arrows are confusing. They are confusing. Some of those arrows are confusing.
Yeah, if you don't like that, do the delivery. That might be the situation.
I haven't done delivery in a minute.
For food, for groceries?
Yeah, for groceries or for food. We did it a few times, but we did it at Denny's house.
Okay.
We did some Tex-Mex. We love it. But yeah, the Publix is Publix the only store that delivers? There's a few other stores that do it, right?
Oh, yeah. Whole Foods does.
Whole Foods does?
Absolutely.
They do the delivery to your house?
Yeah.
Did I know this, Kevin?
I don't know what you know. Don't ask me. I don't know what you know.
Did I know this? I don't know what you know.
Wow. I always love when you learn.
Don sent an email. He said, hear me out. People that are being tested believe that they are sick and showing symptoms. He said, why are we not happy that the positive numbers are, in that 15 to 20% rate? And just to give you a quick breakdown, this is of all the tests, how many are positive? It's 20.7 in Palm Beach County, 28.6 in Broward County, 33.5% in Miami-Dade. And the state of Florida hit the record 23.9% positive rate yesterday. So that's of all the tests taken. He said, so why are we not happy that only 15 to 20% are coming back positive? If we had tested squads roaming the streets and polling people at random, I'd be scared the numbers were 15 to 20%. Don had said. Well, that 10% is the threshold that they had set. Whomever supposedly knows these numbers, as if you can keep it under that, then you can stay open. If you go over that, then you should shut it down. And that's why Fauci yesterday was saying Florida should reconsider and possibly consider shutting it down again, because we're at 23.9%, more than double what the comfortable rate would be. And I know Miami-Dade had said it where they are shutting down like the indoor dining until they get to 5%. And I don't think their schools are going to open up and let kids back in until they get to that. And they're at 33%. They got a ways to go.
Yeah, they do.
So that's why they use the positive rate as a benchmark. And honestly, with all this stuff, I don't know. I'm reading the Sun Sentinel and seeing other stuff and looking at the numbers, and I don't know. I just see them, and I'm like, here's what they say. What matters about the numbers is it will dictate how mumuch is open. That's what really affects me. That's why I mainly care about the numbers. Yeah, I don't want to see people getting sick and all that. And I don't know, the video was out yesterday. Like, you can't even count on these coronavirus deaths, Virginia, they were saying. They're counting everybody as a coronavirus death. I'm like, I don't know. But I do know that if that number is a certain thing, it's going to affect if my kid goes to school, if my wife is laid off. Those are the kind of things. Can I wear a mask? Do I have to wear a mask? And a lot of people, everybody's dealing with it. Joanne said that, am I the jerk? Because I want to talk to my mom, but every time I do, everything she says is political. It's so annoying. She's so obsessed with watching the politics and the coronavirus 24/7 to the point that I believe it to be unhealthy. Yeah, stay informed, but it doesn't need to be obsessive. It's now so bad with her that every time I call her, somehow the conversation turns political about the virus. The other day, I called her about my new diet plan that I'm trying out and how excited I am about it. And it was supposed to be a happy conversation. And yep, here it goes, political and the virus. And I just got so annoyed that I yelled at her and I hung up. Now, I felt bad, but this is all she ever talks about. And I don't want to focus my whole life on this crap. Am I the jerk?
So I went through this with Aunt Ann, where when she was alive, especially the last year or two, she was wrapped up in politics and the news and just watching this and that and getting mad about it. And I'd be like, Ann, relax. Don't give a shit. Let's go get a sandwich or something. It's just, I would try to stir the conversation to something different, but it would turn political or it would fire her up. And everything she would hear, she thought was the truth. I'm like, Ann, first of all, the sources you're citing are fucking shit.
Yeah.
But I learned real quick not to say that because that would turn into a thing.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
It's tough. Some of it might be age. Some of it just, here's my question to her. Is your mom not doing much is she just staying in? How old is she? Who's around her? Aunt Ann was, she was alone a lot when we weren't around her. She was watching the news a lot. So that's what they're going to be obsessed about.
And I think the older generation has a different relationship with media where
they trust it more.
Yeah, they grew up in an era with the Walter Cronkites that when they said something on that talking box, that they were like, that was it. That was the deal. You didn't have people these are just opinion pieces that you're seeing now. And you just watch, like I said, every day I go home and I got CNN on one TV and I got Fox News on the other. And I'm just trying to get a little bit of a balance, and I'm looking for the middle in about everything. And it is amazing how different the coverage is on both of those networks. And you can't say that either one of them is news because it is nothing but opinion and trying to steer They're placating to an audience they know they have and telling them what they want to hear, and that's not news.
So it's editorial, which I'm fine with.
Right.
Just don't say it's news.
But then you have to realize that the things that you're stating, your opinions, are set up by somebody else's editorial. It's not set up by facts.
And old people think it's news.
Exactly.
And keep in mind, when you're older, and I don't mean to be depressing when I say this, these people start to die off. Your inner circle starts to die off, and you don't, you have, this is what is occupying your time, and you're obsessing about it. And I get it. I get why this happens. It kind of hurts your heart a little bit. You just got to be careful. I would just try to guide them away from constantly being entrenched in the news.
Oh, yeah. No, there's nothing healthy that is.
For anybody, honestly.
Yep. Jeff had sent an email. He said, I am way behind still, and I was listening to your March 18th show, and a listener called in and mentioned that back on 12/19/19, you guys were talking about pandemics. The clip you played wasn't the one that I remembered. I happened to snap a screen of your show that same day, and a few others pertained to COVID. Go back to the KVJ TV ATS Podcast 12/19/19 and start listening around 5:58, 5 minutes and 58 seconds, and make sure you listen past 7:22, 7 minutes and 22 seconds. For another prequel, you discuss wearing surgical masks on KVJ TV at 18:36 in on 12/16/19. So we were all over it those 3 days. I am quickly gaining ground on your shows as I'm doing quoting at work now, so I leave my office door closed and listen to your shows all day long. Now, your show sucks because I'm stuck in a twilight zone. It's like it's Groundhog's Day. I relive all major events like hurricanes and pandemics twice, once in real time and then again through your shows. Your programming is amazing. You make it so I can't miss an episode, as there is always something from the previous day that I need to hear the outcome on. I love it and I hate it at the same time. I'm so confused. Don't change a thing. Keep doing what you're doing because you're all doing it right. Oh, and Jaybird, go fuck yourself from Jeff.
Hasn't been a while. That's been dying off, so I appreciate you telling me to fuck myself. Jeff.
But have you fucked yourself in a while?
I have not, actually. When I say a while, I probably haven't tossed off in about 3 days.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Huh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've just been tired and
Getting old. I don't even enjoy that anymore.
Lazy.
no. My schedule's a little off.
It is, huh?
Oh, that's right. You've been house hunting.
I am in the afternoon.
They frown on you jerking off when you're looking at houses.
Really getting into my tossing off schedule.
I don't know if that house is for you unless you do what you mostly do at home.
Yeah, that's what,
while you're there.
Got to walk around, check out the backyard, jerk off in the bedroom.
I have to go to the places where I know I'm going to be.
It's exhausting, Kevin.
Yeah.
Maybe it's been 2 days. 3 days seems like it's a long time.
It does.
Yeah, it's 2 days.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'll jerk off a lot this weekend. All right?
Okay. Send pics.
You're talking about cancel culture earlier on the show, and here is the cancellations that may or may not be good. Shows on Netflix. They got the axe, and maybe why. I told you that I saw Ozark. It got the axe, and I don't know, because this, article that I was looking at here, it's critically acclaimed shows canceled by Netflix, and I'd like to know the discussion that happened behind the scenes on it. Was it where Netflix is like, nope, not going to do it, we don't care, or was it the creator saying, look, this show, because Ozark, I love Ozark, but it is getting to a point where I don't know how much more you can keep telling this story or where it continues to go.
So there's not going to be a season 4, you're saying?
It is canceled after 4 seasons. Now, they've done 3, and I told you that the 4th season is going to be a split. They're going to have that mid-season cliffhanger, and then they'll come back and wrap it.
Your boy Bateman is pretty busy, and maybe that might be it too. He doesn't want to get locked in. He's the main.
That's what I was thinking. And if you do something well, he doesn't need Ozark. His whole life isn't like, I got to keep that Ozark money coming in. He's okay. And if you really care about a project, and I think he's very involved in Ozark. I know now he's directing some and writing some and doing a lot of stuff like that. Then if that is the case, I know he'd had that HBO show that I watched, the Stephen King one. And he was a big part of directing that and being a part of it. Where you may say, look, this is where the story ends. I don't have any more story. Netflix may be like, give us more Ozark. And he may be like, no, he's like, this is just, the story needs to end.
Doing the Seinfeld, saying, all right, we're done. We're going to go out on top. And
It's it. I mean, anything else, we just feel like we're doing it just to do it. And I don't want to be that way.
Well, then it's Grey's Anatomy, season 17. Oh, the hospital blew up for the 4th time. What the shit?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do?
We don't need that.
Are they going to bring back Zombie McDreamy?
Zombie McDreamy.
Doesn't he get it?
I wish more shows would do like us and have zombie characters come back after they die off.
I would love that.
Because they are sitting here and they put it in the category of critically acclaimed shows canceled by Netflix. And I think that's the wrong verbiage, because you look here, the critic score on season 3 of Ozark right now is 97%. So you think Netflix would be going, yeah, you know what? We need lower rated shows in here.
Yeah, it's probably a creation thing.
Yeah, I would think so. The audience score is 91% on Ozark. And like I said, I'm a big fan of the show. I think it's good. It's time. I'm okay with that. You used to watch Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, right, Virginia?
I did, but it kind of got a little silly. I jumped off.
Yeah.
I loved the way it started, but then it came so far from that original concept, which was a girl that was, kept underground for... a long time, and she came out and she's like, oh, wow, the world.
I have noticed with comedies that they start off with a good 4, 5, 6 seasons, and it gets a little... Well, I mean, what else are you going to do with some of this stuff? You take chances with some of the characters.
There was a certain point where I was like, okay.
I'll tell you the one that still makes me laugh, and it's been around forever, is Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah?
But
okay.
what they do is they kind of do the South Park method. They take all of the social issues that's going on currently of whatever year, like I think 2 years ago when #MeToo is big, they did stuff on that. And that whatever's big in the news, they have their take on it. So I think that's why they're probably still around. I think they're the longest standing comedy show other than The Simpsons.
Oh, wow.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. Some of the other shows they were talking about and why they got canceled. Well, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, real quick, that audience score is down to 83%. So maybe that's part of the reason. The critic score for season 4, the most recent season, is still 94%, but still when you're talking Netflix, do you give a rat's ass about critics?
Critics can kiss my fat Italian ass. They can.
I bet they don't even look at that metric. I bet they don't care. It's got to be all about the audience score.
You know what? I've seen it too many times now in the last 2 years where the people's score is through the roof, and then the critics give like a 3%, and then vice versa. And that just shows me you have a fucking agenda going on.
Right.
You're writing for people. You're giving good reviews for the people you believe in for whatever agenda they're on, and then
We can't believe you.
no, hell no.
There was one I didn't get. I used to watch. I haven't finished it yet. Marvel's Daredevil. Canceled that after 3 seasons, and that had an audience score of 92%. So I was surprised to see that. And the critic score for the most recent season was 97%. So that was a popular one that got axed. They did cancel the Marvel's Luke Cage after 2 seasons, but the audience score was 71. So, okay.
That's still good, though.
Yeah, 71. But I mean, I guess if they're nitpicking, that I understand. When you're in the 90s, I'm like, okay, did they really cancel it, or are they just like, okay, we need to end it? I don't know. I think they did cancel that one. That Sense8 that I think I watched the first episode of that. People were telling me about that. I never got into it. They canceled that after 2 seasons. I think they did a movie on it. 91% audience score on that. Dark, my oldest son is getting ready to watch that. I think it's in German, too.
Oh.
And they just canceled that. He's going to be bummed. But the audience score on that Dark is 95%.
Wow.
Yeah.
They love it.
I think you got to read subtitles, though. I don't think I'd be into that.
I did a little bit of that in Narcos. It wasn't so bad.
You lose a lot, man. You lose a lot. You're reading the whole time. How can I see what the shit's going on the screen?
The thing that was great about Narcos was you would get a little bit.
Right.
You would get just a quick scene and it adds some authenticity to it, but then you got a lot of English.
That's how Queen of the South was, too. A little bit was in Spanish, but most was in English.
I don't know, man. When I'm watching something, I want to be on. I want to chill and be on autopilot. I don't want to work hard. Like, oh, what was? I rewind it. I missed it. Oh, did he move? I was reading.
There was a documentary that I was watching the other night, and it was in French. And what was so frustrating was they kept interviewing Americans, and they were talking in English. And so I hear in the English, and they're overdubbing the French. You know how you could hear them still talking?
Yes.
So I'm hearing the English and trying to hear the English, and there's this guy freaking talking French that I can't understand. I'm like, I just delete. I'm like, I'm not watching this. I can't deal with this. Mystery Science Theater canceled after 2 seasons, had an audience score of 91%. American Vandal Show, I don't know, was canceled after 2 seasons with a 91% audience score, and the critic score on that's 98% for season 2. And then that Dear White People, that got canceled after 4 seasons, but the audience score on that was 52%. I've got that on my queue list.
Well, 52% for the audience.
Yeah.
That's shitty.
That's low.
That's shit.
Maybe I have to not watch that one. 90% for the critic score on that. So some of the ones that were canceled. Is there? Do you guys have any show that you're watching right now? Because I am in between stuff, and I'm just into documentaries and weird stuff.
Yeah, I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube.
I finished 4 seasons of Queen of the South, and that was really long. So I kind of just had to give myself a break. My kids were feeling neglected.
I was trying to find something to watch last night, and I ended up going to bed to The Office.
Again,
I really mixed it up.
Going back to the old staples.
It's almost kind of like putting on the Weather Channel when you're going to bed. It's so benign.
Yeah, I get it.
I'll tell you what, though, if anyone is suffering from insomnia and having a tough time sleeping, the one thing that's really been helping me, there's some great YouTube videos where it's this like thunder, but it's really thunder and rain, but it's meant for people that need that kind of background noise. It's been putting me to sleep, and I've been going under, and I've been sleeping a little bit better than I normally do with those kind of things in the background.
Huh.
Something to think about.
Okay. Dino put something up here that's interesting and realize on the Marvel shows that they had to end them because of Disney Plus. And that is, you're seeing that happen a lot now because you got the new services that are up. You know, Disney Plus threw a lot of things into chaos because they're like, we want our shows back. I remember Hulu and all those people have kind of gone through all that stuff. So, anyway, some interesting stuff if you're looking for something to watch. And this was a show that I hadn't heard of, but, I mean, listen to this cast here. It just got canceled. It was the Kaminsky Method, canceled after 3 seasons. And it's got Michael Douglas in it. It has an audience score of 93%, too, and a critic score for 100% for season 2. Anybody heard of that? The
Kaminsky?
The Kaminsky Method?
I've never heard of that.
Nothing's 100%.
Wow. Didn't know that either. Also, the Dead to Me got canceled after 3 seasons on Netflix. That's the one that has, I'm looking, what is her name? She was Velma in the Scooby-Doo live action. She was on Bloodline.
Her name is...
I'm drawing a blank
Michelle Williams.
No, she's not.
Her name is Claire Danes.
No, she's not. It's not her. It's Linda Cardellini and Christine Applegate.
Christine Applegate.
I was talking about Linda Cardellini.
Linda Cardellini.
Big help, though.
I'm just here for you, brother.
I appreciate it.
I'm your hype man.
It's good to know that I got you. I was looking at stuff that was going on. If we didn't have the pandemic, what would you be doing? I would have really had to think about this because last night would have been Sammy Hagar in the Circle with Whitesnake and Night Ranger at Coral Sky Amphitheater.
So I know what I would not be doing last night. You wouldn't have gone to that thing.
I probably wouldn't have, but man, I don't know how I would feel about the Sammy Hagar stuff.
You might have gone if it was a Friday.
Yeah, maybe, and it was just like, hey, let's go see.
You ain't going to that on a Thursday.
Yeah, you're right.
I've seen Sammy Hagar in some recent interviews, and I find him to be very likable.
He's a likable dude, and he's a spitfire. He's an opinionated guy.
He just talks about how he would like to make amends with the guys in the band and how they kind of are pricks. But he doesn't say
the Van Halen brothers are.
He doesn't say he also said he wants to have a relationship or be cool with David Lee Roth, but David Lee Roth doesn't want it.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems like a pretty cool dude. He's got another Van Halen guy in the band with him, Michael Anthony.
Yep. And
they both seem like they were the cool ones that were there. Whitesnake, I love that song, Still of the Night, still one of my favorites.
How's that go?
In the still of the night.
They had another one, right? Did they have her? Is that Hurricane?
No, that's Scorpions. They had Here I Come Again on My Own.
That's the big one.
Yeah, they had a couple good songs.
Here I go again on my own.
Yeah. And then Night Ranger, they had
Sister Christian's a great song.
they had some great tunes.
My motor ran.
What's your price?
Virginia's the backup singer.
Who is that insane, coked out Muppet singing?
They need more.
You imagine that
coked
came out of the
Muppet.
speakers?
Oh my God! I don't know what the fuck was that.
What was
Said
that?
you were really at a Night Ranger concert and they let you do that just to see the what the fuck look everyone
What
put
is
on.
that noise? What the hell was that? That would definitely throw them off. So there you go. Oh, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I got a nice email from Julie here. She said, today is the first World Shove It Cancer Day. It's organized to celebrate Elaine, who passed recently. She started skateboarding at the age of 68 and decided to learn how to shove it. It's a skateboarding trick.
That's so cool. 68 and she picks up skateboarding.
Cool.
That's impressive.
I love it.
So I asked my community to do a shove it, and I made a video of it. I have 24 skateboarders from 8 countries. Julie is known as the Skating Chick. You can check her out. Maybe something you could go to on Instagram.
Denny's, do you know how to shove it? It's a skateboarding move.
The pop shove it.
How does that look?
It's pretty cool. I mean, so a lot of these moves are. What's weird about skateboarding is there's only so many things you could do. Like they have the impossible flips, pop shove it's, nollies, all these things. But there's only really so many things you could do. So if you do it left ways, it's got a name, and if you do it right ways, it's got a name. So they all have these.
Can you teach me how to do a nollie?
A nollie is an ollie, but you do it from the front of the board instead of the back of the board.
I like to do it from the back.
I hear you. The ollie's much easier.
He's an ass man.
Well,
Yeah, the ollie is much easier.
How easy is the shove it?
Shove it's harder, yeah, they're harder. Everything's harder than the ollie.
Shove it harder. Don't say that out loud.
That's what the ass man said.
I'm an ass man. You ever hear that song?
No.
No. It was a song. This guy, there was a wrestler named Mr. Ass. He would come out, and that would you knew he was coming out because you'd hear his music. Well, I'm an ass man. And everyone would start
Is that
cheering.
real?
Yes. Badass Billy Gunn, the ass man.
That's amazing.
Really?
I'm an ass man. He would come out to that song.
Okay. I'm now a fan. Is he still wrestling?
No, he's like 90s.
Oh,
90s,
jeez.
2000.
Please
You
don't
wanna see that ass
wrestle him.
now.
Oh.
I just want to remind you, coming up on Monday, the KVJ Secret Song of the Day. Could mean a 3-day, 2-night trip to the Casa Marina in Key West, right there on the water, within walking distance of Duval Street, or better yet, just hop onto one of those cabs. You can get that. That's what I typically did when I was down there because I'm too freaking lazy.
I think they have like a little trolley too. I remember
they do.
getting on a trolley. I was real drunk.
Yeah, they do, man. I miss Key West. This would be the way to do it. We're going to play a song at 7:30, at least let you know what the song is. When you hear it between noon and 2 on Monday, you just want to be call number 9. You'll win that trip to the Casa Marina in Key West. So listen up for that, for the Secret Song of the Day coming up on Monday. Enjoy your weekend, and we will talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.